Coming up on OU Nightly, I'm going to be talking about some of these lingering rain showers moving through the area and the timing of that.
Record-breaking wildfires across Texas, the latest from the Lone Star State. And OU's move to the SEC just 4 months away. Hear about the new resort coming to Norman. This is OU Nightly.
Why are you crying, Mommy?
I want a house.
You want your house? I know, baby. We'll get another house, okay?
And burned homes tonight as deadly wildfires continue in the Texas Panhandle. Tonight, we know a second person has died in what is now the largest wildfire ever in Texas. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Darian Curry. We also know that part of that fire is burning into western Oklahoma. The big question is the rain we're getting mixed with a little bit of sleet going to ease the fire conditions. To answer that, let's get right over to OU Nightly meteorologist Lauren Brand. Lauren?
That's right, ladies. We've seen a little bit of that haze here in northern Oklahoma the past couple of days, but we've seen some rain chances enter the area, and you can see how that's affected our temperatures here. But this will only be a short term. We will be seeing some more wildfire conditions into this weekend, but Braden is outside right now. Braden, are we still seeing some of that sleet and that colder rain outside right now?
Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, absolutely. Over the past couple of minutes, we've actually seen the sleet pick up just a little bit. It's actually still falling pretty heavily right now. And that's been making for a pretty rough walk to class for some students today. But let's get over to that radar to see how long this is going to stick around. And you can see we're dealing with this last batch of moderate to heavy sleet and rain showers. The heaviest stuff is up towards Stillwater and approaching the Tulsa Metro. But let's get back into the studio with a look at the weather headlines coming up in the show. Lauren?
Thanks, Braden. I'm going to be talking more about those rain chances, the warmer weekend ahead, and some more of those fire danger conditions.
Thanks, Lauren. There's new information tonight on the wildfires burning in the Texas Panhandle and parts of Oklahoma. We now know a woman driving to work died when her car was engulfed in flames on a state highway. The Smokehouse Creek fire is also now the largest in Texas history, burning over 1 million acres, and is only 3% contained. CNN's Gloria Pazimo has the latest from Fritch.
Why are you crying, Mommy?
I want a house.
You want your house? I know, baby. We'll get another house, okay?
The McCain family fleeing the flames of the fast-moving Smokehouse Creek fire, later returning to find their home in Fritch destroyed. The inferno killing 83-year-old Joyce Blankenship in her house, according to her family. The fire also torching scores of other structures and killing thousands of cattle. Ranchers fighting to save their land and livestock.
The biggest thing we lost was our grass. We did lose some cattle. Fortunately, it wasn't as bad as what you would think or what we had thought it would be.
Windy conditions and dry brush are fueling the growing fire, decimating 200 acres of land every minute.
It was really crazy, a lot of chaos, a lot of trauma. A lot of people displaced, and it was real sad.
Longtime Fritch resident Danny Williams helped a neighbor escape the flames.
He only had the shirt on his back and his dogs. He lost everything.
The fire, which started in Texas, has spread into Oklahoma. Governors in both states activating extra resources to try and stop the blaze. Reporting in Fritch, Texas, Gloria Pasmino.
The Texas Department of Safety tells CNN that 2 people have now been killed by these wildfires. The second victim is identified as Sydney Owen in Hemphill County.
The Israel-Hamas war marks a grim milestone today as the war heads into its 5th month. OU Nightly Savannah Simmons has that in the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Gaza's health ministry reports over 30,000 people have been killed since the war against Hamas began in October. Israel's bombing and ground attacks displaced the majority of the population, putting more than 2 million people at imminent risk of famine. As the humanitarian crisis worsens, the United States is looking into possible airdrops of aid into Gaza. A Texas federal judge is blocking a state law that would allow law enforcement to arrest and detain people they suspect of crossing the border illegally. The judge says that the United States must regulate immigration with one voice instead of relying on the states. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are visiting different parts of the southern border today ahead of the 2024 election. At the nation's capital, the House has voted to pass a short-term spending bill to avoid a partial government shutdown. By the end of day tomorrow, funding will expire for some government agencies. Congress is also facing another shutdown deadline, March 8th. The Senate still has to pass the bill. That vote is expected later today. And more on Trump. The former president is appealing an Illinois ruling that bars him from the state's ballot on the grounds of the 14th Amendment insurrection clause. Darian, Melina.
Thanks, Savannah. Big changes have been happening within the Norman community as the city enters its SEC era. And even more are on the way. OU Nightly's Emily Faith has more details on a new attraction coming to town. Emily?
OU's move to the SEC extended an invitation to SEC fans from across the country to visit Norman year-round. And luckily, a luxury travel destination opening just 3 miles south of campus will become an RV lover's paradise.
A few years ago, Joe Castiglione called and said, "Hey, Scott, we're moving the SEC, and this is way bigger than sports."
From improvements to OU's athletic facilities to the return of tailgating on Lindsay Street, and now a multi-million-dollar RV resort just 3 miles south of campus. It's no secret that Norman is queuing up those SEC chants once again. Scott Martin, president and CEO of the Norman Chamber of Commerce, says the new property, Liberty Point, is key to accommodating visiting SEC fans starting later this year.
SEC fans love to travel, and they love, not only do they travel by plane, but they love to RV.
While Lloyd Noble Center is open to RVers coming to town, Cale Streeter, the director of investments at Wiggins Properties, says Liberty Point is a full-service resort and will have everything RV lovers could imagine.
It's going to be gated. We'll have pools, hot tubs, a bar and restaurant, an outdoor tailgating pavilion. Pretty much everything you can think of in a resort we will have.
Construction is set to begin this May at the intersection of Post Oak Road and Classen Boulevard, and Phase 1 of the project includes 300 camping sites available to the public.
As far as Liberty Point goes, it is going to be a premier RV resort destination, unlike anything Oklahoma has seen.
Construction crews will break ground starting this May, and the RV resort is set to open in the summer of 2025. Reporting from the Switzer Center, Emily Faith, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Emily. Beyond being a place to stay for visitors, the resort will also feature an adventure park that will be open to the public for everyone in the community to enjoy.
The University Counseling Center is using a sweet treat to get the word out on an app that can help students and their well-being. The app Tell Us provides 24/7 confidential counseling services to all students on campus. Newly developed, the app aims to provide students with on-the-go support no matter where they might be.
So the main reasons that we wanted to partner with Tell Us, and what we're hoping to improve is access to quality mental health resources, right? So one of those being after-hour crisis support.
The app is available now on all mobile stores to download for free.
Today is about spreading awareness for certain diseases.
Find out what kind up next.
An Oklahoma school is experiencing a scabies outbreak.
What doctors and the Oklahoma State Department of Health are saying after the break.
My baby's back from the West Coast. Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood. Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Ah, those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay. Smart. I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Oklahoma, a school warns parents of a scabies outbreak. OU Nightly's Julia Roberts is following this in today's health report.
Yes, the Holdenville superintendent says his middle school has cases of scabies. Here's a letter he sent out to parents today saying the district is disinfecting the schools multiple times a day. Doctor says scabies are not dangerous but are very contagious and irritating. The Oklahoma State Department of Health says they are working with the school in providing resources. It's Rare Disease Day, and this affects up to 30 million Americans. Doctors urge people to get genetic testing done. Taylor Kane learned she was a carrier of the disease after her father was diagnosed.
My dad inherited the mutation from his mother, and she inherited from her mother, and it goes on and on.
Time carriers of rare diseases have no symptoms. And for those Chick-fil-A lovers, any leftover Polynesian sauce needs to be tossed. The fast food chains recalls the sauce for wheat and soy allergens. Melina, Darian.
Thanks, Julia. One organization takes middle schoolers from Norman up to the Capitol.
What they took away from it, coming up.
And we have some of those lingering rain showers in the area, and along with that, we still have some of that fire danger in effect. I'm going to have more details coming up next.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's start time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. We are taking a live look with our Weather Center cam. This is Jenkins right here, and we can see that traffic really moving along here, but be wary, we might expect some delays with that traffic, especially since it's raining, and we still might have some of those slicker conditions with that sleet, but that should start to clear out, especially as we head into tonight. But right now we're sitting around 38 degrees. That humidity is high because of that rain in the area, and it feels like 35 degrees, so a little bit colder than that actual temperature. Now, as we look at these rain chances, this should start to diminish, especially as we go into those overnight hours. So 5 p.m. we'll still have a 60% chance of rain, but quickly die down to around 20%. And look at those temperatures. We will be dipping right back up into those 60s as we head into your Friday. So looking at your future cast, that rain will continue to make its way out of the area. And by the time that we hit that 7 p.m. mark, we should just be left with some of that overnight cloud cover, and that should eventually exit the area by the time we hit Friday morning. Now, as we go on, we are going to be expecting some very gusty winds this weekend, so that is going to go into our fire danger conditions. So this will have an effect on that. So this is going to be Friday around 2 p.m. We're going to have some gusty conditions then, but it is really going to pick up as we go into Saturday afternoon around 2 p.m. We could see some mid-20s for those wind gusts, but look at this. We could see some 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts as we go into Sunday evening. So again, this is going to go into our fire danger risk. So what that exactly is going to look like is we are going to have some critical conditions on Saturday, but extreme conditions as we go into Sunday. So making sure you're not burning anything outside and just be wary of anything like that. And as we go into Monday, that will die down just a little bit, but as for those lows, it is still going to be on the colder side for us here, around that freezing mark for here tonight. But as we go into Friday, we will be in those 60s, so we will be warming back up. And then as we go into our 7-day forecast, we will be getting into those 60s. Look at that. Saturday, we will be getting into those 80s again. Sunday, we'll be into those 80s yet again. So it is going to be a nice weekend ahead of us, ladies.
Well, thank you, Lauren. Are
Yes.
you guys going to go to the softball game with the nice weather coming up?
For sure, definitely.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lauren.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
And a group of students from Norman took to the state capitol to meet with lawmakers, proving you're never too young to be a leader. OU Nightly's Noah Max shares what they took away from the experience.
Checkered with red coats and young faces, the halls of the state capitol welcome students from across Oklahoma. They are Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, a national group focused on teaching real-world skills to kids. And these kids are the littlest lobbyists you've ever seen.
I'm in 7th.
I'm in 6th.
A group from Whittier Middle School in Norman spent the day meeting with legislators.
So you're a little nervous going in, but when you get there, everybody's just like, oh, hi.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see like what happens in this building and to meet people who have a big impact on like what happens in our state.
Their goal was to spread the mission of their program, and it's a mission that helped junior from Southmore High School, Brooklyn Haynes, find her voice. She says when she was in middle school, the COVID-19 pandemic hindered her social skills.
That made me very introverted and not ever really want to go out or talk to people. So it's definitely helped me a lot with communicating with others and learning how to start conversations in themselves or just make friends.
And making friends seems to be a universal outcome. The Norman Group's advisor, Marla Keeley, says one of the most rewarding parts of her job is just watching the girls foster friendships. Noah Mack, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Noah. Several students in FCCLA also say that the organization is helping them discover a career path. A new conference champion was crowned on the hardwood last night in Norman.
And the Queens of the Diamond roll out the welcome mat in their new home this Friday. OU Nightly's Emily LeBeth has more in sports.
Sooner fans are getting used to their teams earning back-to-back titles. I'll have how the latest Oklahoma squad won big in the Big 12 with a bucket you won't want to miss. Up next.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hi, I'm Emily Lebeth, and it's time for sports. If you thought Javion McCollum's Bedlam buzzer beater on Saturday was impressive, just wait until you see OU women's basketball's performance versus number 3 Texas last night. It was senior night in Norman, and Peyton Verhulst led OU with 18 points, including this 3 right here. Now, with 4 seconds left in the game, Skylar Van gets an offensive rebound, which she hands off to Lexi Keys, who hits a dagger to put the Sooners up by 1 point. Texas still had time, though, and tries to put up another shot, but it gets blocked, giving the Sooners the 71-70 win and a back-to-back Big 12 title. Head coach Jenny Bronchek is proud of her team's dedication.
We just had this never say die attitude, and we just kept going and kept going and kept going, and I think this team is really found itself to be a really good team. And I don't mean good because we won a Big 12 championship. I mean a good team because they cover for each other, they help each other, they believe in each other, they never quit on each other.
Dribbling over to the men's side, Porter Mosier's squad traveled north to face number 8 Iowa State. Rivaldo Suarez had his first start as a Sooner and was the highest scorer in the Crimson and Cream with 9 points. Even with a close score at half, the Sooner effort wasn't enough to weather the Cyclone storm, and OU comes up short 58-45. Up next, the Sooners face number 1 Houston. And the Queens of the Diamond are back in Norman tomorrow, this time in a new palace. OU softball's 2024 home opener will also be their debut in their new stadium, Loves Field. The Sooners face Miami and Liberty in front of a sold-out crowd. Patty Gasso is excited for their new home.
I'm going to tell you what, we are going to keep this thing as new and pristine and clean as ever. So we're not gonna take this for granted, ever.
The action on the Diamond doesn't stop there. OU baseball hopes to hit the jackpot in the Las Vegas College Baseball Classic. The 5-3 Sooners lead off the weekend with a game against Pittsburgh tomorrow at 4 p.m. Flipping back to the 405, a top 10 matchup awaits the OU gymnastics squad. Number 7 Michigan faces the Sooners in the LNC at 6:15 p.m. tomorrow night. The Wolverines handed OU their only regular season loss in 2023, so the Sooners are seeking revenge. And over at the Big House, OU Nightly was at the Class A girls playoffs today, where Cyril faced Oklahoma Bible Academy. Here, Cammie Jenkins has the bucket for the Lady Trojans, and despite the defensive efforts from Lady Pirate Hadley Gibson, OBA comes out on top 54-36. Melina, Darian.
Thanks, Emily. It was a very special day for a very special woman in Massachusetts.
Find out what she's celebrating after the break.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Is that time yet?
It's time.
I'm starting chocolate dinner.
Oh, it's real good.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
I'm Kamarion Brown with an update from the University of Oklahoma. Students now can graduate with distinct levels of academic excellence even if they are not enrolled in the Honors College. This spring, undergraduate students who hold a 3.8 to 4.0 GPA will hold the Summa Cum Laude honor. Students enrolled in the Honors College will have additional identification during graduation. Darian, Melina.
Thanks, Kamarion. It was a very special day for one woman in Massachusetts yesterday. It was her 113th birthday. Herelda Senhouse is the birthday girl, and she was born in the same year as Lucille Ball and Ronald Reagan.
That's right, and she was honored with a special cane given to the oldest resident in her hometown, Westerly, West Virginia, surrounded by her loved ones. She credits her longevity to a stress-free life and no children.
A stress-free life sounds absolutely great to me. I don't know about you, Darian.
Oh, it does to me too. Now let's check back in with our forecast to see if the weather is just as stress-free as Herelda. Lauren?
Well, hopefully the rain doesn't stress you out all that much, but we should start to be seeing some clearings here, especially as we approach that midnight hour. We should see a clearing from all of that rain in the area. But as we look at our 7-day forecast, Friday, we are going to be warming back up. And as we go into our weekend, we're going to have a beautiful weekend ahead with temperatures in the 80s. And by the time we get to the back half of the week, those 60s will stick around.
Thank you, Lauren, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Darian Curry. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.